Recording. All right, cool. So, first things first, Blur. For those that are in, the spot call with me, we're about to hit TP1. If this retraces from here, I'm going to be sad. So I don't know if you guys want to take profits. It's up 16%. Um, cup and handle breakout. Target still is $1. So I won't be charting this. I'm just showing this since we just started off. Let's start with King Bitcoin and tell you guys what I think will happen during this, week to possibly end of month. Um, so as I've been saying in my channel, excuse me, I don't think shorts are worth it. Even if you get, I mean, look at this, right? Like if you had shorted um, last night, right? You got a 1% move for this to fully retrace and go higher than where it went. Okay, 1% move down, 3% move up. Not worth it in my opinion. That's why my short button has been disabled for the next 2 years. So you will not see me make shorts or call shorts because not worth it. So yes, we can go back to 40K. I don't care if we do. I will just buy. I'm not going to be shorting. Right. So where we are currently, and I'm going to start on a higher time frame. Right. Okay. So we are still at a weekly resistance. Okay. Um, I'm not longing Bitcoin here. I potentially am looking for a bullback. All right. So we have a weekly demand zone here. Also an SR point. Okay. So this is where we are at. All right. Flip this level, flip this resistance, and weeklies can take a while to play out. See how in this one, or around this area back in December 20, we were just chilling here for like, a week or two, right? Just a small range before we had to move down. So when I said that I think we have a move or a pullback, right? The reason for that was because funding on alts are getting high again. But when I first mentioned it last week, a lot of alts, and this is what I use. One sec. Let me get this website in for chats. So you can look at exchange rates on your, platform wherever you're trading. You can also use CoinGlass as well. A lot of coins have high funding rates. So what that means is if you are long and the 4 hour just closed, the 8 hour funding period also closed. If you are holding, long plays, okay, you just paid a funding fee to those that are short. All right. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you check your transactions and you go to funding fee, you paid a funding fee. Um, because funding fees are so high, if you were to look at spot currently versus a perp chart, so let's look at perp for Blur and we look at perp for spot, we notice that perp price is leading spot. Okay, this is because funding is positive. If it was negative, Blur spot price will be above Blur perp price. Okay, when things are positive, it usually is an indicator that we are going to dip. Now, the dips can be very quick to just flush out the positive funding fee and make it back, to neutral. Um, so most alts have this currently. Okay, like if we were to take a look at FET, yesterday this was ridiculous in terms of funding fee, and we look at FET USDT perp. Right, this is about the same. It has neutralized, but some coins are like, like coins that are in the dollars are a few dollars above. All right, if we take a look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin spot, which is this top one, and the only one I'm looking for, is Bitcoin for Coinbase, is below the perp price. Okay, so this is an indication that we're going to get a pullback soon. How deep is the pullback going to be? I'm not sure, but it's coming. Okay, plus we have a 3-day weekend. Tomorrow is a U.S. holiday. Apparently, presidents are important, but we are getting a pullback. Okay, so it could be, in the week, it could be tomorrow, it could be in a couple of days, but we will have a flush, and I expect it to be a quick flush. So it's going to be, something that we had here, maybe a little bit deeper, and then a move back. All right. Um, so back to Bitcoin, right? So we are at weekly resistance. I am looking for. Why are my DMs going off? I am looking for a pullback into the 50K at least, minimum. Okay. It was previously resistance, a pullback into there. Also, don't give me charts yet. I haven't looked at chats. I will ask for chart recommendations, and then you guys can, shill charts. So don't say anything yet. But I expect to move down to 50 to around this order block, which is 49.8 down to 49.3. So anything in that area, in my opinion, is good for a long. Okay. Now this is going to be a long to 56K. All right. We are still maintaining our trend, so there's no reason to short. Our last higher high is there. So if you guys are looking to short, you would short upon a breakdown and retest of this higher high. Okay, so something like this. Hopefully it's in confluence with, a bearish retest there. But that's when you will look to short. Okay, and then you will start to layer your longs from 50K down to 49.3 with your stops below that low and aim for a move higher. Okay, hopefully a flush down to 50K should reduce and reset some of the funding fees on altcoins and Bitcoin itself and go higher from there. Okay, or we may have a push up to these highs over here. Right now we're still range bound, range highs, range lows. Okay, or if you took your range lows from this point here, then you have a deviation and a reclaim of the range lows. Okay, I did make a video about ranges and how to play them on my YouTube. If you want a refresher, check that out. But the other short trigger for those that want to short because you want to feel something in life, move up, take out the highs, okay, come back down, retest, confirm the swing failure pattern, and then back down to there. Okay, so this is a confirmation play. This is not a limit play. Your stops be whatever wick or high that is taken there. Okay, and you're playing first range bound, right, and then second TP there as such. Okay, so confirmation play. I will post this in chats. Do not set limits there. Okay. So that is for Bitcoin and the possibility of a short attempt. Again, we are at resistance here. Okay, this is resistance. And we did reject, but again, I'm not shorting here. I would wait for a squeeze up, take out the highs, and then look to short. Again, I'm not shorting personally, but again, for those that want to look for a potential play. All right. Now, long attempt would be that. So let me post this in chats. Oh wait, I already did. My bad. All right. Now let's take a look at ETH. Okay. Sorry if you guys are posting anything in chats right now. I'm still not looking. I'm just going over still this. So for ETH, let's start on the weekly again. Okay, we are at resistance, at least on the weekly. Okay, so if this is flipped, you will see a Drake candle all the way to 3,200. All right. Now, when I first mentioned the Drake candle, we were at 27. We got a nice move up, but quick move up to 32, 33 to 3,500, and that's where you should see some heavy rejection. But if we are able to flip this on the weekly, it's literally going to be this dong candle all the way up. Okay. On the daily, right? We just made new highs. The last highs that we had back in on the 15th, right? We had the move down. Look at that hammer candle, very, very bullish, all right? And then we had the Drake candle up, all right? So we are at resistance. I wouldn't recommend longing here. If we do get a move down, now we're going to go on a lower time frame, right? We do have this demand zone here. This is where you will long if you get the chance. Again, trend is intact. Okay, we actually have an ascending triangle, which is bullish. If this is flipped, the ascending triangle target would be around 3,200. Okay, but again, at resistance, I wouldn't long anything here. Either we come and we bounce from this order block, 2,800. Okay, or if we get a deep retrace, that would be the demand zone too long. So from 2690 down to 2600-ish. Okay, so two separate plays here. Scalps, you should not be risking more than 2% of your 2 to 3% of your portfolio. And then for swing trades, they are wider, so you can allow yourself a 4 to 5% stop if they do hit. Okay, I'm not giving shorts on this one because ETH is very bullish. So hopefully we get a wick down there, fill some longs. Let me see the H12 really quickly. Yeah, perfect. It lines up with about like this H12 order block. All right. So let me post this ETH one. Excuse me. Okay. And let's take a look at Sol. Now, Sol, I gave this play on the last stream. Actually, the last week. Okay. We were here. It was I always stream on Tuesdays. Okay. I always stream on Tuesdays. So we were here. And, I mentioned we would have a move up, and it followed. I didn't draw a squiggly this time. I used, lines, but filled perfectly at the 4-hour order block. It was also, when I had drawn it, it was a perfect golden pocket long as well. Okay, if you had drawn the golden pocket, I don't know what I used at that time, but I removed the fibs when I had drawn it. But as Lettuce would say, get 7/8/6. Okay, so 7/8/6 bounced perfectly if you had drawn it from here to there. Perfect fill, order block confluence, and move up. Again, I'm not looking to short Sol. I don't recommend you to short Sol, but let's draw some fib action here. Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated. Okay, look at that. I'm going to remove this. But if I were to draw the fibs, and, you know, I've had multiple streams here that I've gone over, the fib settings of what I like to look for. I've gone over this in my class. I've gone over this on a few YouTube videos as well. I like to look at the 618 and the 66 fib, also known as the golden pocket, and the 786 fib. All right, perfect rejection from that fib. All right, you got a nice move down of 2%. Um, Sol may want to go higher, but let me also bring up the famous, I'm going to call this the Arshimoto pattern, right? But it's the bearish Quasimodo pattern. I've gone over this a few times, and it worked perfectly here. For those that, you know, join my streams, um, I have these implanted in my head, basically. Okay, so we have higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, because this was the last higher low, right? Break down, and look where we rejected right at the neckline resistance, golden pocket confirmation of this. So this should, at this point, send it down a little bit. We did reject. So this is one of my favorite patterns. You also have the bullish Quasimodo pattern as well, which is literally this inverted. I don't use this pattern as often because it is literally just a triple tap pattern with a deviation. Okay, so it looks something like this, right? So you have lower low, lower high, lower low, okay? And then it goes into a higher high, higher low, and that's what made me long at that point around the 94. Again, I gave this on the spot call. That's what made me fill, right? And then we had this move up. So now we have it, the move down. I expect us to possibly go and retest the trend line. Maybe you can get a long from, this is my spot chart, one sec. I was experimenting with fractals, which don't work, by the way. They're complete garbage. Okay, so maybe you can get along at this order block. Okay, you have order block, right? If I were to draw bullish fibs, okay, lines up with the order block, so something like supply zone. Right, and that is on this wavelength. It's still another higher low. Okay, now you can take market structure from different time and wavelengths. So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? And we can still go and make another higher low and then continue to bounce higher. Now, if you are taking longs, I would suggest going in with smaller position sizes because I do expect us to take, see, look, again, like Blur is about 30 cents higher or 0.03 higher than their spot price, okay? So funding is getting higher and higher. I expect us to have some pullback. If you are taking this long, I would go in with reduced position sizing. And then at this point, hopefully, I think we get up a move to perfect influence as well of the trend line, a move to 140, 150. If Bitcoin just chills and we consolidate. Now I can draw this trend line from this point, right? All I'm getting is confluence that's going to be a bounce. This is going to be a bounce area. So maybe you can enter in light at 109, around 110, right? Like 10% allocation, and then you DCA the golden pocket, and then you have your heavier bids at the 786 fib, and we go higher. Again, confluence with everything. So Okay. One more chart I want to share, and then I will take recommendations. Do not post anything yet, please. I will go in order. Where is Injective? So if you were following my original Injective call, right, we were up about 18% at max, all right? With DCAs, we got an average around 33.6, at least minus 33.67 if you DCA'd my way, which is pinned in my channel. I've removed my target from 38.62 to 42. That is going to be my TP2 for this long, and then at that point I will move my stops to profit and we will target $50. Injective is still very bullish. Okay. We did have a breakout, right? And even within, okay, even within the bull flag on a lower time frame, you also had a breakout. Okay, breakout and a breakout on higher time frames. Now on the daily, okay, even a double bottom formation. But let me go on a lower time frame really quickly. So if we get a pullback, okay, I would start layering bids at 37.2 down to this SR point at 35.8. Okay, so something like that. Okay, and we're targeting 50. Stops below there. If bullish, we should not revisit those lows. Okay, and go from that point on. Okay, so right now everything still looks bullish. We actually did have a swing failure on the 8-hour. Okay, took out the highs, closed below. Um, so you know, in bullish environments, although we have swing failures, the move might not be as strong. Okay, so if we are to retrace, it's literally going to be from here. Because if we are able to flip here, we're going to 42. We are at resistance. So flip this. You have a little Adam and Eve pattern as well. There's your neckline, Adam and Eve. Okay, target again is going to be 48 and go from there. Okay, so no longs until this level is flipped to support, or you bid down here. You have confluence of the retest of the breakout point, SR, and then if you were to draw fibs, let's draw it from this point here actually. Okay, so your DCAs will be perfect with that fib line. All right, so no longs until this level is flipped to support. And by flip, I'm not talking about a closure above. It has to break out and then retest, hold, and then that's your confirmation to long. At that point, your stops be below this wick here, and then you're targeting much higher. Okay. Let me post the Adam and Eve chart so you guys can see it, that I'm not talking out of my ass for those that are new. It's usually a V and then a okay. V, U, breakout, retest, move higher. So I'll post this. Okay. Now, I will be reading charts really quickly to answer any questions, so you can go ahead and post your charts. I will not be charting Jupe. I don't care about Jupe. So if you say Jupe, I will ignore you. I also will not be going over any charts I just went over. So if you came in late, or for those that come in late and they're requesting charts, if you could just let them know that I've talked about something, much appreciated. So one sec, let me start from the top. Shorted. Do you think we will see 36 to 38K? Possibly. It might take a good while, but for now, I don't think so. So Gucci, who I don't think is here, he did do analysis, and I went over this in a little bit, or I went over this last time. Up to the halving, um, every single bull run, we've had a 30% drop. Okay, so if we were to have a 30% drop from this point forward, it's down to that 638K. Okay, I don't think we get a 30% drop. Now, whoops, sorry, that was my class information. I do want to show something here. Where is an empty chart? All right, let me show this here. What people don't understand is last bull cycle, okay, we had 6 or 7 30% drops. All right, so if we were starting in March of 2020, okay, so basically, there, right, we had, whoops, wrong one. March of 2020 is, yeah, there. So like even there, right? We had 13% there, 30% there, and this is in a bull cycle, okay? 26% there, 17% there, right? And then this is where we started going full bearish, right? We even climbed higher, then had a bigger move down. So these will be normal in the bull cycle. We can't just keep going up without having a healthy retrace. Will we have it here? Very possible, okay? But the trajectory is still up. We can still dip, make another, right? We can still dip here and still make another higher low and then continue to go higher. Okay, now on the weekly or the 3-day, I don't want us to lose this 40K level and turn into resistance. At that point forward, we have broken market structure and then we're heading lower. Okay, is this level still possible? Right? Capo thinks so. I don't think so. I think we put in a good high. Yes, I do think a retrace to 40s, to possibly mid 30s is reasonable, but I don't think we see 30s and lower. Okay. All right. Might be a dumb question, but for spot trading, how exactly are you losing money? As in, you buy a coin, if it goes up, then win, but if it goes down, can't you just keep holding until it eventually breaks up again? Sure. But at some point, right, like if you want to use that capital into something else, then you cut your losses when a significant level is lost, and then you buy back in lower, or you just rotate to a separate to a different coin, right? Um, that's what I've been doing. As if you guys have noticed how I'm giving calls after I take profit from something, right? Like HOR hit TP2. As soon as that hit TP2, I literally went and bought RNDR. Right? I never am never into like multiple spot coins. When I'm playing with my short-term spot account, I have like 4 or 5 or 6 coins that I'm allocating 6 to 12% of my portfolio to each, and then I just play profits, move to a different coin. Now I do have a long-term spot coin or spot account as well. For those, every call that I've given since my time here in Unity back in August, I have not sold a single dime. So yes, I'm still in from Bitcoin at like 17K, ETH around 1100, Sol around 22. I haven't sold a single dime on those, but anything that I've recently been calling, and I've been calling, TPs and stuff, that's on my short-term spot account. Yep, Archimoto. If you don't understand what leverage is, don't touch it. Stick to spot trading. If you can't, profit on spot, you shouldn't be touching leverage. Adam and Eve is not a cup and handle. It's a double bottom formation. Cup and handles are different. 51K. Yeah, I still think we need to see a flush. It might not be a deep flush, but we will see one. Okay, let's start with charts. Let's take a look at DYM. I typically don't like coins like this to play out. This is a more of a spot coin because right, you have basically no data. I know it's new, but this is your support. Okay, now the more and more we touch support, the weaker it's going to get. So support was established. 1, 2, we're getting close to it, and yes, we had the breakout here. Actually, we had a failed breakout. If we lose this support and turn it into resistance, okay, then you will be buying much lower. Now, SR point, support, okay, support. And if you truly believe in this project, you can buy down there, right? I wouldn't long anything until this level is flipped. And then you can long with your stops below there, but you need the breakout, retest to long, stops below the low, and then, if this is completely bullish, then we should target these highs. And then at that point, we go into price discovery. You will draw fibs for price discovery. Now let's see potential rejections. Yeah, see, the golden pocket comes with these first highs here. So if we break down and go higher, that's where you will look to long. That's a disgusting 4-hour candle. If we do come back down, where is, right? If this does take a while to play out, right? You have your Adam and Eve pattern. You have your V, right? This will hopefully, if it's strong, should make a double bottom formation, building that cup base. You will long on the flip of this resistance that we have touched about 4 times, but no longs here. I do think that this does pull back a little bit. You have short-term support around $7.20, right? That was your little wick or low time frame deviation. So breakout, retest, you will look to long. You will see most likely another rejection here, but if you're looking for a safer long, then you need a flip of the 7.7 area. We most likely will reject from the golden pocket. RNDR. I gave this on spot, so I don't know if there's much to chart. It's nearing price discovery. Ooh, baby. Look at that. Hopefully you guys got into that long with me. Okay, cup and handle, resistance, breakout. Target is 6.25. Where did I get that from? We have, I used a daily chart. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Okay, we have daily resistance, TP2, TP3. This is bullish. Um, you know, I gave 68, about a 5% move from now. If you missed it, then you are waiting for a retest of 5.72 to go long. I would not enter in right now unless you want to buy spot in DCA, but I gave the call at 5.68. You have an order block on the 1 hour. Right, so you're looking for, and then higher. But this is going to run. This is going I think this will make new highs. I expect this to hit $8 and higher. So 40% move on this loading. I don't know what Neon is, so I'm not charting that. It sounds like a shit coin. CAS. This is a gaming coin. Okay. You have resistance. You have your support, right? I would long once this resistance is flipped to support, so something like that. You'd long with your stops below there, and then you target higher. Is this in price discovery? Is this the oldest chart? Probably, because KuCoin has it first. Okay, this is in price discovery most likely, at least on the daily. Yep, so you long there, 1 hour chart. I'm posting this, 1 sec though. I'm going to go on the daily really quickly. I'm removing these lines. So, if you guys came to my last stream, I said when coins go into price discovery, they usually retest their previous highs. There's your previous highs on CAS. There is your demand zone. Okay, so a move, if you want to bid, that's where you're going to bid. Yes, this can continue to go higher. Let's draw. There are your possible rejection points. So you bid at the previous highs into this demand zone, and then you aim for these highs. Target for this. It's almost there. Technical targets are almost reached. NTRN. What is this coin? Is this the oldest chart? Yes, it is. So same exact setup forming here, right? So you have previous highs. That's where you will bid. You will draw your fib. That's it rejected where it did perfectly. But let's wrong. Wait, no, right ones. Yep, this wants to run higher. Let me go lower time frames. You got a nice little falling wedge action. Little demand zone. Exactly looks like cast, right? Previous highs into the demand zone. That's where you're going to bid. Even if it comes down into this area, you still have another higher low being created. But I don't know how this coin moves. I mean, you have these nasty wicks here, so it started to stabilize. But you still have these wicks. It looks, pretty liquid, or the order books are as thin as your stomach after Taco Bell. So again, you're waiting for a breakout, retest, and then go higher. Otherwise, you bid down here into the demand zone, right? Keeping that going higher. I don't know what this coin is or why it's pumping, but setup looks like it wants to go higher. So do with that as you will. NTRN. Do you have any long-term alts or just ETH, Bitcoin, and Sol? I have 20 coins that are in my long-term alts, alt-term bags. So ETH, Bitcoin, Sol, Link. These coins. These are all my long-term spot coins. Not all of them. Roll Bitcoin. Doing well. So large caps. Rose, PYR, ARB, SUI, FET, ATOR, TIA, Say, Vanry, Woo, Gala. I have a small bag. Big Time, small bag. Atom, Pyth, so on and so forth. Why didn't you mark TP at 8.4, 8.5 level? I don't know what coin that was. Sorry, I'm just going down in order. Dex coin. Got it. Dot is looking good in my opinion. Let's take a look. I will never touch this coin. I will never have it in my bag. I don't have a good relationship with this coin. This coin reminds me of my ex, and she was a dot. She was pretty fucking ugly too. I mean, very attractive for your guys' standards, but pretty fucking ugly to me. All right, so you need this to be flipped. Okay, this is very strong resistance, right? Um, Battle here. Now this is a 4-hour chart. Yeah, this is a very crucial level. Now we've had, you know, multiple deviations from this level, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is getting weaker. That candle is bullish as fuck. Flip this, you will look to long. It's maintaining its uptrend. Okay. If it does come back to this order block, and always always have a plan to the upside and downside. Okay, you can't be like, I will change my mind 10 times in a day. Okay, I will change my mind as much as a lady when it comes to her outfit. All right, you can't be emotional and have one bias. You have to see both ways. So yes, I was calling for 35 to 37K, and then literally 2 days later I was calling for 52K. Okay, you have to be able to adjust on the fly, and this is where you're going to bid if we do get. Now this one's a little tricky, because if we do reject from here and do actually take out these lows for another, liquidity grab. So in this case, if you are able to manage your positions, have a loose stop. You can have like 50% of your stops around down here, and then the other half keep manual, because if this does come and stop hunt, then you know it could do something like this, wick back above, right, and then go higher. Um, Potential double top forming here, so be also cautious of that. So that's where you're going to bid if we get a retrace. Otherwise, you are waiting for a successful flip. Notice how we did not have a flip there. Notice how we went up, right? Had that retest and went a little bit higher, right? Came back again, went a little bit higher. So you're waiting for that flip to occur. I wouldn't long right now. We are at resistance, so have both of these in mind. I just want Blur to hit my TP, man. Um, One sec. Yeah, see, even falls in line perfectly with the golden pocket. So I'll just add there for confluence for you. APT. Yikes, what happened there? It's a harsh rejection. Hmm. Resistance on the 3-day that just closed yesterday. We have the take of the highs, so we may revisit those highs. Um, a scalp attempt could be scalp, like very, very small port. Um, Take out the highs, revisit the previous highs, right? Stops above the swing failure pattern wick and lower. 4 hour, we're still maintaining trend, like this is still an uptrend. Um, we had the swing failure on the buy side. You have your little tiny supply zone there. Did I miss something? I have like 30 unread messages just from this stream. I didn't read the beginning of this. Please don't show me coins in DMs. I will not read them. Okay. Lower time frame. Okay. Now we do have a bear flag on the 2 hour. Okay. It is invalidated once this is higher. We have a supply zone, so expect rejection from $10 to 10.18. Breakdown, retest. You will long um, this 4 hour order block down to previous lows. Okay, stops below the wick. Okay, and then if that holds, should gun for higher. You have a small scalp attempt, very, very small. And then you have that swing failure retest. So let me post both these. Right now, low time frame, this looks kind of bearish. But also, if it breaks out here, then you will get a rejection. From that point on, I'm just very hesitant into long anything, with funding being so high. Let me see. This is perp chart. What is spot charts say. Ooh, yeah, it's not that far away. But still, these wicks are disgusting. Too much of a slow mover for me. Okay. ARB. Let's take a look at ARB. No, I have not. All right, there we go. All right, so injective. Keep an eye out on this breakout. Okay, breakout, you're waiting for the retest. That's the trigger. So this is kind of forming. Okay, I will post this again. I don't know if I did, but enjoy. ARB. Sorry, I was reading chats. So ARB had a swing failure. Now swing failures, and I have a video on my YouTube of how to play them. They give you the best R&R, right? So we had a sweep and liquidity and take out all these stops of people that were placing their stops below, right? Grabbed it, closed above the swing low point, right? Once that happens, that's literally your setup. Okay, it gives the best R&R, and you shouldn't play this, alone, right? Like we had an order block here, you had confluence. You can draw probably fibs, and that's where it ended up as well. Right, if you took it from here, or I don't know, but you're always looking for confluence, right? Like this probably bounced, from the trend line as well. Not yet, but on a lower time frame, this actually looks pretty decent. You have an order block there. Now you have another order block here. And 4-hour order block. We are at a supply zone. Remember the bearish Arshimoto pattern, right? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, lower lows. So we should see a rejection from here. Yes, we could go up into even this one, but that's where rejections should happen. Right, and then back into the order block, hopefully. Stops. Gun for higher. Supply zone should be red. One sec. Oh, perfect. The neckline for this lines perfectly with the bearish retest point as well, just like as we saw with Sol, right? So a possible short from here stops above the wick down to the R&R isn't great here, right? So if you want to have a tighter stop, still not great, but worth the short scalp if you want to again feel something in your lives. Lose this trend, right? Turn to resistance, and then we go lower. Nice, Nico. Cake. Man, you guys really love fucking charting coins that sound like Barbie's dream house stuff. NTRN? Cake? What's next? Bake? It's at resistance. We had support here, so if it's able to I mean, you have a huge supply zone here. We rejected from it cleanly. So you need a flip to long resistance, demand zone. If you really want to long this, make sure you have some frosting. So something like that. Make another higher low into higher. Then you have a little cup and handle formation. Otherwise, you're waiting for the flip to long. Draw a little trend line to make it fit my narrative. Right, 1, 2, hopefully comes back down into the demand zone. But chart looks meh. Depending on how you want to draw the trend line, right? If you draw it that way, it's a little rejection. If you draw it this way, you got the breakout and the retest. Nothing special. So flip or backtest. Okay. Dot, I covered. Fill. Man, the last time I charted this was August of 2020. Actually, no. February of 23. Let's see. You have a weekly double bottom. This actually looks interesting. We are at resistance. Let's mark out the highs. Spicy. I think this coin wants to run. What is this, a Korean coin? If we get a pullback into that 4-hour order block, you long? Otherwise, you are going to wait until this level is flipped to support. Some consolidation and aim higher. This most likely looks like it wants to range, creating another bull flag. Okay, hopefully wick down and then go higher. So that is your setup. Looks good. Looks good. Blur. Did Blur hit fucking TP? Fuck. Blur Or is not in the long term. Sorry, I was showing this. I just had it here for my current, spot bag play, so I can update them. All right, let me see. Can I check out Tia? Again, I see no weakness in shorting this coin that has not lost this trend. Okay. This filled perfectly at the order block. Now, if you're looking for shorts, you are looking for a breakdown. Retest, reject, confirm. You will short with stops, somewhere above here. Depending on how high this goes, if it goes higher, then your stops are going to be somewhere else. Little 4-hour bear flag. See, every time we've had a little bear flag forming, right, we had a little dip. Little bear flag here, dip. So if you want to long, you want to wait until this resistance level is flipped to support. That 4-hour candle is disgusting. So breakout, hopefully retest and hold. You will long stops I can't give yet because I need more information. Otherwise, I don't see a very strong setup for Tia. Other than the fact that maybe it comes back down to retest this OB, stops below, and you target for new highs. I use the 8-hour chart a lot. I do love it. I also use the 12-hour. The 12-hour chart's goated. Yeah, I do think the golden pocket will reject again. We haven't had many rejections from it, so if we are able to, so this is what you're gonna do. If we flip this level, you long, stop somewhere above there, right? You take profit at the golden pocket. It goes up, it comes back down again, makes an inverse head and shoulders, and then hopefully it holds the golden pocket next time, and then it runs for new highs, takes out this high, makes an SFP, comes back down, retests the trend line, and then goes higher. Let's draw that squiggly. Let's publish it. I'll come back to claim my cloud if it happens. If not, I'll delete it. Let's see. But that's your setup. Let me post a daily. Okay. I don't know why you guys are laughing, but you're welcome. I'm not charting 1,000 sats. I don't chart garbage like that. What's up, Weatherman? Okay. How old am I? I am 27. Has Sol been done? Yes, it has. Bitcoin, I already can't. I charted at the beginning. As I mentioned, I expect a pull down or a retrace. That is a indecision candle. I expect it to pull down. You can watch the recording after. IMX. Let's take a look. I charted IMX in class yesterday, but we filled the 4-hour perfectly. The short got stopped out, but we hit TP perfectly for a 3.2 hour trade. Now let's take a look Ooh, the daily had an SFP. Okay, so I think gaming coins just ran yesterday along with AI coins. If we are able to retest it, that's your setup. I'm not looking to short, just saying. There is your supply zone. Nasty wicks. If you're looking to long or add to your long-term bags, you have the order block there. This can continue to go a little bit higher. Maybe a scalp long to those highs. I don't know anything about this coin or how it runs, but setup wise, looks decent. Now, stops are wide. You could have a tighter stop. Okay. So again, if I have wide stops like that, you are losing, or sorry, losing. You are using lower than normal position size. Okay, when it's risky and very wide. You can have a setup with stops below, and then you target there for a higher R&R trade. So something like that. This is the daily SFP trade. So I will post both. The gaming and AI coins, expect them to have, a decent pullback. The reason for all that hype yesterday was, I think Sora for OpenAI came out. One coin that I gave, to my class, I gave PAL. I gave it a while ago, but this shit just ran. Um, I do think in this next cycle, as we get pullbacks into AI coins and gaming coins, your focus should be on those sectors. Okay, you should have at least 10% of your portfolio in these coins. Um, Most of these coins that are going to be coming out, like Justin Sun, notorious for wanting to be in everything, will most likely declare TRX as a gaming coin or a AI coin. He likes to come out and say he's like in every single sector, all right? He's in every single, um, you know, live, um, loving, you know, downstairs mix up. He likes to sleep with people's wives. That was the joke. But AI coins and gaming coins are going to be a big sector during this bull run. Trillions of dollars will flow into it, so find projects that you think are going to be valuable, that are going to have a very bright outlook. So like FET, PAL is one of mine. Other gaming coins and AI coins like Gala. Don't stay away from the metaverse tokens like Mana and Sand. Those are completely garbage. Axis is completely garbage. But like Ocean is a OG in the space. It had a huge move up. PYR and stuff like that as well. Um, how do you spell it? Hashimoto? Oh, Quasimodo. Here, Quasimodo. What the fuck is Rake? That has to be a joke. All right. Let's take a look at Near. Sorry if you see charts like this. It was just yesterday's potential setups. All right. Yeah, I knew that was gonna be an entry point. Okay, order block. Most likely a little bearish divergence forming here. So expect a pullback. I don't use indicators, no. Someone DM me that. So maybe you had a swing failure there. So stops be below that wick. All right. Got a little bullish megaphone pattern here. Let me give you guys some more random charts that you guys have never heard of. Sorry, one sec. Okay, so price goes up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breakout here. Okay, and then go higher. You have a good move up to about $4 probably. Otherwise, you're looking for a move down, stops below that wick for a move higher. We are if we are able to close above here on the 8 hour, you have an SR flip. So this could pull off that bullish megaphone pattern and go higher. Now, you did have the Adam and Eve pattern here, right? I mean, not as close as I wanted to. Usually for Adam and Eve patterns, you want it to be a double bottom formation, right? So this needs to be lower and equal to that. But it's a little knockoff. Target for this technical double bottom formation is around these highs. Near looks good for upside. But again, don't rule out a potential pullback on some of these coins. Weird. Some of these coins are going up, but ETH is going down. What did I say about Sol? Hold on. I say so many things. Yeah, perfect rejection from that level. See how Sol, perp, is leading spot? It's usually a bearish indication. Like I mentioned, funding fees are high, so a pullback is on the way. Yeah, okay. Let me post that near chart. Yeah. Near looks good for upside. So again, you will long if that happens. Stops probably somewhere, below here. Once that flip happens, and you target $4. Otherwise, you're waiting for a move down there, and then something like that. That is an 8-hour order block, but I'm using a 4-hour chart. Whoa. My high is kicking in even more. So I got like maybe 5 more charts in me. Um, oh, let's see. Ooh, this looks like it wants to break out. There's your range, right? Now you are waiting for a breakout of range highs. Flip to support. You along with stops below 69. If that happens, you have all these wicks. So again, you're waiting for a flip. Again, if you want to see what the definition of a flip is, check my pinned messages in my channel. But this bull flag target, if you take it from this impulse, should send you to about 78, which should send you into this resistance area. Reject from there, come back down, inverse head and shoulders, send this bitch up to 106. Otherwise, if this doesn't flip, two areas where you could look to play is, I don't know how, I can definitely tell you this coin is a liquid with all these wicks, but you have a small little order block there, but that's risky because it's mid-range, right? I'd rather wait for a retest of range lows, but if we do get a retest of range lows, I don't think it's going to be a bounce there. I do think it's going to be something like this: take out the wick, cause a deviation, SFP, and then go higher. So that is your setup. If that happens, you will long with your stops below whatever wick is created, and you will first target range highs, and then you will target 77. Otherwise, you're waiting for a flip, turn this into support, and then you look for a move up to 78 with your stops below there. So two separate setups. Drake. The only Drake chart I want to see is the Burj Khalifa. Okay, most people don't know what that is, and they'll probably Google Mia Khalifa. Okay, let's see. Maker. Eh. True resistance. Got a giant cup forming. Okay. Higher highs, higher lows. Most likely a 3-day divergence forming. Let's turn on. Let me just see something. Yeah. Was able to tell that divergence without. Where is. Why can't I do settings on you? Where are my settings charts? There it is. bearish divergence, hidden bullish. Okay. Yeah, this looks bearish to me, but I knew that before turning on Unity Algo. Just great confluence to find with the algo. Um, I wouldn't long this until this is flipped to support, but you better watch out for that resistance. This is just range bound. Okay, yes, you had the bull flag breakout, fall back below. You have a deviation confirmed. You short with your stops above there, and then back to range lows. If you want to long, you long range bottoms. Stops below the wick, and you just play the range over and over again. Okay, so fall back below, deviation confirmed. It needs to close below. Okay, so if it falls back below on the daily chart, you need the closure below, and then you could short with your stops above those highs back to range lows. Otherwise, retest, hold, then we do gun higher. Where is maker? Again, I'm not taking these. These are all on you if you want to take them. I'm just giving potential setups. I already covered SOL at the beginning. I'm not covering it again. You could take them as spot plays if you want. Link. Okay. I got Link and 2 more charts in me. Okay. I will look afterwards. Did I cover AVAX? AVAX is the next one. Link. And I will look at FET. I already looked at. One sec. Link, AVAX, and I'll decide after the fact. Let's take a look at Link. All right. Okay, let's actually share this with you guys. Just because I know I love sharing random charts that half of you don't know what they are, let me educate you guys. Let me show you the bearish 3 drive pattern. I think I've shared like 7 of these today. Okay, bearish 3 drive. It's more like a channel, right? Instead of a wedge, it's an uptrend channel. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. If this were to go up and retest again, hopefully at 22, that is your sell signal for lower. Okay, now the reason why I do think this runs, and I mean, if you didn't get in on this after I was screaming it from $15 down to $13, you're late. I have an average of $14.08. My last TP is 22. Okay, we have resistance. Okay, depending on how you want to draw your trend line, multiple ways are valid, right? As long as you have 3 touches. So if you draw it this way, okay, you have an inverse head and shoulders. Upon breakout, retest, you will long with your stops somewhere below there, okay, and target the top, okay. Otherwise, maybe something like this with your stops below support and game higher, okay. The alternative, lose trend line, turn it into resistance, you short with your stops above resistance, and you know, are going to go lower, take profits yourself at levels of support. That's your alternative. But the head and shoulders target, the technical target, if this is flipped, should send us to about 21.5. Um, Obviously, take profits at your own levels. Um, this is why I don't like giving TPs on spot, because I want you guys to be happy with your own levels of profit and not blindly take calls from someone. Okay? Because if you're blindly taking calls, I can just drop, my address and ask you guys to send me some SOL, and then I will burn it. But that's your setup. So flip, or you long support, and you stop below there, and hopefully it doesn't retest because you could draw this trend line there, right? And that is your next TP. Now, if this fills, right, and then goes and rejects here, you may want to de-risk or at least move your stops to break even, because if that rejects and closes down, most likely going much lower. Much lower would be most likely there. That is probably an 8-hour order block, or at least a daily. I know an H2 for H12 for sure. Yeah. And that's where longs step in again. Nothing in between here, in my opinion. Like if this is stopped, nothing in between until there. So it's like a 50 cent. So let's share this. And no, I'm not shorting up here. I'm just getting out of spot completely. You still haven't broken out, by the way. So there's link. And AVAX. I got you, my boy. What I don't want to see is us lose that level. That's true support. Wicks are okay as long as we don't have closures below. Closures below should send us, a little bit lower. We have SR. Um, Breakout of this cup and handle was never retested. If we do go there, that's where you will long for higher. This kind of looks like, in a way, like Bitcoin did. Down, and then up, fail, and then go higher. So if this is true, down, up, fail, and then go higher. But lose this and turn it into resistance. That's where you long. Yeah. I was gonna say supply zone. Higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, rejection of the neckline, Quasimodo, and then maybe lower. You have a bear flag forming here. Not a clean one, looks weird. But, okay. Lose, retest. You could look for a small short scalp. Technical targets. Depending on where you want to draw it, let's draw it from there. Okay, so breakdown, close below, retest, reject, close below, shorts with a very tight stop, and then you take profits at levels of support. You may get a little bounce at 39.364 to 39, so you could. Sorry, order block. I have a color schematic, so all right, something like that on the 1 hour. Now, adding more confirmation to this area as the short, right? You have a 1 hour order block that has not been tested within, so like going into there, and then, Quasimodo down. So let me post those. AVAX. Okay, and the last chart I'm going to choose is I was planning on taking the CFA. Do you think it's worth it based on your experience? Like certified financial accountant or financial advisor? I'm a CPA. Equivalents. Okay, last chart. Is Gala about to hit TP? Not fucking yet. Alright, did Blur hit it? Certified financial analyst. Um, when I was working at JPM, I liked it. Um, you have to, start strong and build your clientele base unless they're giving to you, but you have to hustle for it. So like it's not going to be an easy gig. There's a lot of quirks, but if you do well and you build your clientele base, then yes, it'll pay dividends. But if you want to make the money, it's going to take a year or two, or at least the seasonal vets of like 3 to 4 or 5 years is where you have a base in your clientele book. So okay, the next one I wanted to chart, I didn't see anyone mention it, is going to be say yeah, Ator is strong. I'm still waiting for my last TP to hit. Actually, wait, did it hit? No, it did not. And again, I don't want to hear anyone saying they're not making money on spot. This was given here 8 days ago for a 50% move. Even if you put like $300 or $400 into it, right? That's a lot of money. Okay, say, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Scale is not a coin. All right. All right. So say I had drawn this yesterday in one of my streams for my class, but like I mentioned, when a coin goes into price discovery, the previous high will always get retested and is a strong bounce point. Okay, so we had the breakout, retest, even turn into support, and then continue to go higher. Okay, these are your rejection points or possible. I mean, the daily had an SFP. Okay, these are your possible rejection points if we continue to go higher. But oh yeah, it's most likely coming down. First point of interest would be this order block here at 90 cents, 91 cents ish. Stops below the wick, and then you just play the range, right? Range highs, range lows, range highs, SFP, come back down to range lows, stops below the wick. Lose that, then it is a fair fall to around 77 cents. Okay. Um, yeah, as I expected, we were going to have a pullback. I don't think the pullback is done yet, so don't go gung ho. But this is what I'm looking for say. Oh, SKO. Gotcha. I didn't know what scale was. I don't know the actual terms. I just know tickers. Right? You put a line of cocaine in front of me, I'll know exactly what it is, but okay, so something like that for say. I'll give you slack right there. And I will look at that coin just for you. This is the last one. SFP is a swing failure pattern. I have an explanation on my YouTube on how to play them. Okay, I don't forgive you. This coin looks disgusting. Demand zone. Nah, this is the last coin. I gotta head out. Okay. One. Okay. Honestly, this coin looks very disgusting. The bullish hammer here, sure, but on a higher time frame, let me see what the algo is saying. Before I do that, let me just chart the 4 hour. 4 hour may bounce. Yeah, possible triple top. 4 hour may bounce. Very tight stop. I don't even know where to take the full TP. Yeah, I don't know how to chart this coin with like, barcode. Your 3 lines of cocaine here. So if you're taking a scalp, that would be your setup. It'll probably be quick. Otherwise, you're waiting for the golden pocket and the daily demand zone to be filled. So, right, extra confluence. Let's see what the algo is saying. So possibly a move back into 89.5 and then higher. SKL, let me remove this so we get a clean chart as well. And then I will also post the daily. Triple top, possibly. Alright, so that's it for me.